A frustrating evening. What were your thoughts on your side's performance tonight?
Well, sometimes it's like this. You have to live these kind of games with a very early red card. Difficult for the team, but I think we fought until the end. I think we have chances. We scored a goal that disallowed us. Then we miss a penalty. And yeah, what I say is difficult when you are 10 against 11.
What were your thoughts on your goal that was disallowed?
Well, a bit frustrating, of course, because I think that no one realized what was happening. Then suddenly it's partly a handball. I don't know if it's intention or not, honestly, in a fight. But it's what it is. We respect the decision. It's a mess, but then we have a penalty, we missed. Then the red card comes and it changed completely the game.
What were your thoughts on the red card? It seemed like the referee didn't even think it was a foul originally.
There's two options. If he thinks it's enough contact, the game has to go on. And if he thinks it's a contact, I don't know now the rules. Why is a red card? Maybe because because it's outside of the box, of course. Okay, yeah. So yeah, if it's a foul, it's a red card. I don't know. I didn't see the game, so the chance. So I don't know.
What's the overriding emotion at full time? Is it one of frustration, like a missed opportunity? You could have qualified this evening, the win.
Well, of course, we want to come here to win, but it's frustrating in the fact that we have one red card, but we fought until the end. It's one important point. We keep going. Let's see the other results, but of course we want to win. We didn't win, but looking of the way we play, the 10 against 11, we cannot be sad.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, it has been a very different first half as far as City are concerned. We're used to talking about them having blown teams away by now, but it's been packed full of incident and VAR decisions. So let's get straight to it. Rodri scored an absolutely incredible goal. It was disallowed for a handball on Mahrez, which we'll come to in a moment, but just how good was this goal, first of all, Jolien?
Ridiculous strike. We've seen him score some great goals in the Premier League, but his first, supposedly first strike goal in the Champions League would have been special one to remember, but chalked up for handball. Harsh, in my opinion, and I think we all agree in that aspect, but can't take nothing away from that strike.
And this is exactly why it was chalked off, as you just said. Now, was that the right decision for you, Crouchy?
No, I mean, listen, you can always see the players' reactions. Nobody's appealing for it at all. It's totally accidental. It's the problem with the handball law. You know, he's been asked to look at it, and then the fact that he's been asked to look at it, you know he's going to change his mind. And Rodri's robbed of a fantastic goal. Well, I mean, if that was me, I'd be absolutely fuming.
Was his arm in an unnatural position?
No. That's one of the best finishes I've seen all season, one of the best strikes I've seen all season. Deserved the goal. Dreadful decision from the referees. OK, so that was the start. Then came another penalty decision, and that was because of this handball on Boylston in the area. What did we think of that decision?
Yeah, again, I think it's harsh. I think the letter of the law states that it's an unnatural position, but for what he's actually trying to do, which is mark and prevent Akanji from heading it, that is a natural position from a defending perspective.
Yeah, if you see Akanji's got above him, and he panics a little bit, but it has to affect him, so he has to put his arm on the ball. So he says it's in a natural position and his arm's out, but he has to try and affect him because he's got up above him. So that makes it then in a natural position because he's defending properly.
Yeah, and also if you're looking in that still shot, it's above the T-shirt line to me. It looks like that, which I thought was another rule in regards to it not being deemed handball, but I think there needs to be context in regards to unnatural position.
What I would say is it's less ridiculous than the Mahrez one.
Yeah.
Which just sounds, you know...
See some awful decisions, and then Mahrez would be hard done by in regards to missing and then being taken off.
He'll be bitterly disappointed, won't he? But you mentioned in our pre-show, Grabara, the Copenhagen goalkeeper. He made 12 saves in the reverse. I mean, that was a really important save again.
He was unbelievable in Manchester. He made 2 huge saves, obviously the penalty and one before, I think on Alvarez. But look, the goalie's obviously very good. We've seen that. The referees in VAR have had a bit of a nightmare so far.
Next incident, City down to 10 men. What did you make of this decision?
Yeah, no, I think this was spot on. What I don't understand is how he didn't give it in real time. I mean, it was quite obviously he was through on goal, and Gomez, he just gets the wrong side of Gomez, and he panics and pulls him down. It was the right decision. I just don't understand why it had to go to VAR to get it.
Yeah, I agree. With Crouchy there, like, yeah, foul, red card, whatever it is. But what are you actually looking at then if you're not seeing that? I don't understand why he's over there looking at the screens.
So it's now a different challenge that awaits for City in the second half, because, as I said, we're used to them being ahead in games at half-time, but now Manchester City, wasn't it? But it's not the end of the world, because they've had such... There was a frustrating night for Manchester City, wasn't it? But it's not the end of the world, because they've had such a good campaign up until this stage. They drew tonight, and actually, if Dortmund draw or beat Sevilla, Manchester City will still qualify for the knockout stages, and you can see their healthy lead at the top of that group and their goal difference as well. So it's not panic time for Manchester City by any means at all. It's just not the sort of performance we're used to seeing. How would you sum up Manchester City's night?
Probably frustrating. Having not scored and not won the game, you would say there we left them frustrating. But like Rodri said there, it's a fair result in regards to what happened, going down to 10 men.
For an hour, by the way.
Yeah, so well managed the game, conserved energy. Obviously, with fixtures coming in that are going to be more difficult than that, you would say. So, professional performance overall.
Did you expect them to do, though, a little bit better? I know they were down to 10 men, but for all the talent that they have in this team, did you still expect them to do better?
Well, they'd still have the ability to go and win the game, even though they're down to 10 men. And I think, yeah, we probably would have thought that it would create maybe more chances. They still had a penalty saved. You know, they had a goal chalked off, which was incredibly harsh. And they didn't concede a goal when they were down to 10 men. So there's lots of plus points. You know, we can't sit here and say you've got to press the panic button just yet.
Not just yet.
They're doing OK.
Do you think Copenhagen, though, were given a bit of a boost when they saw that team news with no Haaland in the starting 11?
Probably, yeah. They were probably happy, but in the end, I didn't think Man City played... I thought they played their normal game. Even when... Thing is, the red card completely changed the game. They had Crouchy nailed it, you know. They had a goal disallowed, which should have been a goal. They had a penalty saved. I mean, in the end, they could have won 2 or 3. But I think when the red card happened, they just realised they just shut up shop, keep a clean sheet, no injuries, and get ready for the next one. They're going to finish top of the group. I think there's no question about that.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a look at the handball law, shall we, before we get in to all of the incidents, because here's a reminder. So, handling the ball, it is an offence if a player deliberately touches the ball with their hand/arm. For example, moving the hand or arm towards the ball, or touches the ball with their hand or arm when it has made their body unnaturally bigger. So now we've been reminded of the rules. Do the decisions make any sense to you?
Side and let him have a free header.
Yeah.
You've got to try and affect him. So at that point, when the ball does, his arm is in a natural position because he's getting an arm on the forward.
Which then tells us that it's not necessarily VAR or the referee that's getting it wrong. It's the rules that are wrong in the first place.
I think it's not even the rules, because there are occasions when an unnatural position leads to a handball.
But you want to see it in
that is a natural
context.
position in context to what he's trying to achieve. Like, that's where you need ex-players that have been in them situations to recognise he has to do that. There's no
Try and explain to the refs what's happening.
Is that where we'd like to see VAR go? To have ex-players involved in some capacity?
I don't think they want us in there.
I don't think
we'd be causing chaos, wouldn't we?
Would you want to be in there?
No.
Yeah, get the
Let's leave him